Okay, let's continue with the plan. So it's important to do walk, carry, hang, pull before the session. This will be in the physical section of the plan system. Walk is done in the form of walking meditation, where focus is directed to each step. The chaos, the desire to chase is felt and channeled into each step. I can feel that it builds a slow, steady pace. Another section rule to add to the plan in the nutrition section is to consume as close to zero carbohydrates as possible. That means favoring a carnivore diet with fat added via olive oil, avoiding butter, salt included, plenty water. Aim for at least 4 liters. So it is a new day, 13 June, 12:15 p.m. Another rule that I add is I live stream all the work I do. So I'm live streaming this as we speak. That records absolutely every action I take in front of the computer, including this work, including the trading process, the technical process. So that's another rule, to live stream everything, to record everything. It's a form of accountability. It's also a stop obstacle in the way to prevent rushing gambling. Makes this feel like more of a job. Okay, so back testing, random time. So process is as follows. If I keep talking but jump to another tab, will this still keep recording? Let's see. So, okay, so the process involves, right, start on the current bar. Go back, bar, this bar, this bar, this bar, this bar. So what is this? This is a forming swing. Okay, so there's forming swing. Okay, now to focus on the technical. Remember to keep the hands as if I'm doing a seated. I would have drained the compulsive energy to clickety clickety. So a note, something to put somewhere. Now the process begins with checking the economic calendar for restricted events that may have already been mentioned. If all clear, then to open trading view and to go to the 2-hour time frame. On the 2-hour time frame, start from the current bar and proceed 1 bar back until a 4-period fractal is reached. When the 4-period fractal is reached, to determine if it is a confirmed swing or a forming swing, which can be defined at a later stage, but currently it is understood what each type of swing is. This process is repeated firstly, the swings are marked. Forget about this is repeated section. Okay. Next, on the 2 hour, noting. Noting the formation of swings for direction by tracking the cursor over the swings, connecting it over 4-period swings. After having drawn the swings, noting the pattern highs and lows by referring to the most recent 4 or 5 swings, depending on which is relevant, to get a feel for market and trace the mouse cursor, the swings, connecting them, understanding, feeling the direction. And next point is noting the behavior of the RSI oscillator. If that is yet to be defined, it is a RSI oscillator. Bars based on the high plus low divided by 2 data. Overbought is marked by 80 and above. Oversold is marked by 20 and below. That is one signal. Another signal would be divergence. On 2 hour, 1 hour, 30 and 15 minute, signals are less relevant, and it is what trending pattern is shown in fractals and confirmed or suggested by the oscillator. This process of marking the and reading the structure and oscillator is then repeated on the 1 hour, 30-minute, and 15-minute time frames. So that's what I'm doing now in backtesting, but it's sufficient just to write the process. I just mentioned the backtesting. I'm adding this process of marking the swing and noting the oscillator is repeated until the 1 minute. So after the 15, it's repeated on the 8 minute, the 4 minute, the 2 minute, the 1 minute. It's repeated slowly so that each time frame is read and finished. And that means it is then possible to wait on the 1 minute for the market to reach a confirmed swing. Time frames have already been read and considered, and so work has been put in front of the gambler to balance out the rush. Okay, some session, a work session is timed according to a interval timer. Starts with a 1 minute uh, block to stretch, move the arms, move the legs, do a bend, stretch, neck, broomstick stretch. It's then 29 minutes of sitting in front of the computer and running the process of doing work like this. This cycle of one block 1 minute and one block 29 minutes, so in total 30 minutes. It starts off for 2 hours, as this would be a session. As mentioned before, that a session can only be done if a 2 hour work block. There is also a goal to make this more flexible such that the compulsivity of chasing a trade can be lessened. However, it can be lessened through the required, specific, relevant, equivalent physical work before, such as possibly also stretching. Time outside, it's important the walking is done outside. A rule can be also that the 2 hours should be able to be done with stillness. So now, once the swings have been marked, the structure has been read, the oscillator has been considered, now the waiting for the market to reach a confirmed swing. As mentioned before, a trade is accepted 1 minute, 2 minute, 4 minute, 8 minutes, although it is preferred the 1 minute. Then, once the market reaches a confirmed swing, the move, the retracement that has reached the swing, climactic behavior, considering the oscillator, as mentioned, the oscillator is fixed at 16 bars, and so if the oscillator is showing a neutral signal, if it is yet to be mentioned, the oscillator becomes relevant when the number of bars in the retracement move to the confirmed swing is around 32. That maps well to the oscillator. It shows a clear signal. If the number of bars in the retracement is less than 32, then the oscillator is the number of, and then just the structure of the retracement is analyzed. I'm attaching a screenshot for what is referred to as the structure read of the retracement. As you can see, there are two rectangles. The first rectangle has a duration of 2 bars and a range of 2. The second rectangle has a duration of but a range of 2.8, which shows that the second bar is significantly wider for a similar range than the previous rectangle. And so this is a pattern which I refer to as expansion. It is a climactic behavior. It suggests that the market is expanding to form a reaction from the confirmed swing, which you can see in the screenshot, for a move in the opposite direction to the direction of the retracement. Okay, I interrupted your analysis. So this is another structure-based climactic behavior. The second move, second leg, second extension of the retracement is marked with the gray tracing over it. In this extension, there are two breaks, two lower highs of the same order, one period fractals. This is something which I refer to as a multiple, meaning there are multiple swings of the same order. The logic is multiple swings of the same order will eventually stop repeating, and a higher order reaction will occur. And the order of the swings, for example, if the order of the swings is one period and 3, 4 have formed, then that increases the probability of a reverse against this leg of the multiple swings, a reaction in the opposite direction, forming a higher order move than the order of the multiple. And note, these structure are in addition to an oscillator signal set aside when the number of bars in is less than 32, closer to 60. Another tool for extra confirmation regarding the potential for breakout, the strength of the confirmed swing, is to apply a Fibonacci retracement from the such that the order of the retracement is considered within higher order to understand how the retracement fits in the bigger picture. If the retracement occurs within 40% of a retracement of the higher order swing, suggests that there is another factor in favor of the market continuing to break out, of a strong reaction occurring, owing to the short distance from which the retracement has occurred, thus needing less of a move for a breakout. Would have retraced beyond the 60 retracement in the 60 to 80% range, then that suggests lower potential for a breakout owing to the fact that the market has to cover now 60 to 80% of the distance in order to break out. So that would be a weak signal in terms of the retracement. In terms of what was mentioned before, 60% and below would be a 40 to 60 is a medium signal. Wait, adding to that, 0 to 40 is a strong signal, 40 to 60 is a medium signal, 60 to 80 is a weak signal, and 80 to 100% is a strong signal is a very weak signal, and possibly a reason to avoid that confirmed swing. Since there is suggests that because of the distance which the market has traveled, the momentum is likely to continue counter to the hypothesized direction. Now, for added confirmation and deeper analysis, once the retracement has been determined, the retracement itself is a forming swing. And so the forming swing is marked at the end of the retracement on the bar that has closed at the confirmed swing. The various signals, either structure or oscillator, have been noted. An additional level of understanding or odds in favor shifting is noting the order of the magnitude of the forming swing. If the order of the magnitude of the forming swing is 16 bars, then that suggests the order of the retracement is on the time frame which it occurs. If the order of the retracement, here there is a confusion and a doubt. In the case of the example that I'm referring to, as I'm building this system, the order of the retracement is 16 bars. And so it feels natural to jump 2 orders up. So from the 1 minute to jump to the 4 minute, as each order is times 2. That's based on music, and it feels right and natural. However, if the order of the retracement had been 64, there is some understanding here that needs to be reached of if this is therefore a 4 on the 4 minute. However, for this example, and it will be discovered in time, the higher time frame would then be the 4 minutes, since the example that was given in the images was on the 1 minute. So note this as best as possible, and it will be understood through tree diagram style logic with time. The drawings on the time frame on which the retracement is analyzed should be visible only on that time frame. And so that suggests that the climactic behavior is analyzed only on that time frame. And so when higher time frames are considered, other indicators, other tools, other methods of analysis are considered to shift, which build a case for a trade. The Fibonacci is shown on the second highest time frame and the retracement time frame, whereas the tools used to analyze for the expansion pattern or the multiple pattern are shown only on the retracement time frame, which would be time frame 2 or 3, depending on the order of the retracement. Now, regarding entry and exit rules, entry, stop, and target rules. The candle that closes at the confirmed swing, from where the oscillator is considered and from where the structure-based patterns are considered, that candle should close within the red zone, which you can see in the image. It's the top 10% or bottom 10% of the move, depending which is which, depending on the direction of the retracement. And the target is set to a 50% retracement. If there is a swing in the retracement that falls within the 40 to 60% zone, then the target is set to that swing. Otherwise, the target is set to a 50% retracement. As mentioned, this is based on a less need to be right rule, less need for a quote unquote huge breakout in order to be profitable, although this can be reviewed, as I suspect this may be have some thinking trading is a money printer influence. May also be that the target should be extended based on the number of confirmed. Could also be that the target should be extended beyond the 50% if there are more signals, although more signals, the trade can still be a loss with many signals. So an understanding should be reached that can be provide peace of mind and provide the consistent moderate income, the consistent moderate monthly return, which translates to nominally in currency amount to growth through capital. And the goal should always be the return should feel consistent and moderate. If it feels extreme, then that will be too exciting. If it feels in that you're too extreme above or below, that'll be too low. It will feel like wasted effort. So it should feel consistent and moderate. Now, what is done whilst waiting for the market to form a setup that provides many signals? The market is studied, patterns are observed for later use, new patterns are studied and followed until sufficient confidence is felt with them. Only recorded, documented, understood patterns are traded. Any new patterns which are discovered are first followed, whilst existing proven patterns are traded. So this is in the waiting time, studying is done. This work of discussing with Claude is also done whilst waiting is performed so as to make use of the waiting time. Instead of it being wasted time, it can still be work time for when the conditions do set up. Additional patterns can be found. Patterns. So in this waiting time, which is study time, unless the trade is occurring, breakouts are noted. Then a retracement is noted. If the retracement returns to an area that is different to the confirmed swing, it is noted, and possible pattern is noted, and then continued, and then ignore that part of the continued. The end of the retracement is noted once the breakout occurs. If there is a noticeable pattern in the area of the retracement, then that is noted for future study and possible to add to the library.